This golfer's in a pretty athletic position. I think she would make an improvement if she would just have a little less knee flex and rock the hips forward more so the hips are directly over the ankle bones. If you notice here, if we draw a line down from her butt, it's quite a ways behind her. And if we move that line over to her hips, which is hard to do, you can see that that's where her hips should be, a little bit further forward. So she's kind of got her weight shifted more towards the balls of her feet. But let's go ahead and watch the swing in slow motion. Nice turn, good position at the top, and a good rotation through. That really was a better swing than she thought it was. She didn't like it. But if you look, as she comes into the impact position, all that happened is she scooped the club. You can see that the club, she's going under with her right hand and lifting the club right there. That's why she's topping it. The hips haven't rotated at all. We'd like to see the hips have rotated into that shot a little more than that. She's really going to be a good golfer. Again, she's a newbie. Good job. With this golfer, we had a problem getting him to his front side. So you'll notice on this setup, it looks like his weight is kind of balanced on his right toe there, his trail foot. Got his heel up. What we're going to do is watch the swing in slow motion, and you'll see a pretty decent weight transfer. A little forward press. See how he's staying on that inside of that foot and then pushes into it. That's a much better move than he was doing before. The next thing to work on here is coming into the impact position here with the right hand turned palm back to his side, his thigh, not palm up. That's a scoop move, and that's a big power robber. So we need to get him to turn his hand. At this point, I'd like to be able to see the fingers of the gloved hand, and notice we really don't get to see them till about right here, and they should be in view right about now. So that's what's robbing him of power. See how the right hand is underneath the golf club. This looks to be a very athletic setup. We might want a little bit of a forward press with the hips so the right shoulder's down a little bit. But all in all, that looks good. Let's watch the early part of the takeaway. Notice that the hands have moved a little faster than he's rotated his body. Good position there, good width. Look at the width he's got in his swing there. That's very nice. Now let's see if he drives forward. Driving the left knee forward, but the right knee staying too stationary. We need to get him moving the right knee. Now he's moving the right knee pretty good. Driving into the shot. Right on through. At this point now, we'd like to see the fingers of the left hand. Again, his right hand is a little under. We would call that supinating the left hand, so the left palm is in the sky, and getting the weight forward like that. Pretty good job. He's making some tremendous strides in improvement. Here we have a pretty new golfer learning the swing. So she's swinging without a golf ball, which I think is a very good thing for most of us to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line and draw it right down through the center of her body. That's what we'd like to see her rotate around on her swing. So I'm going to go ahead and play this swing in slow motion. And you're going to see that the axis or the axle of the swing, which is the red line, is going to be moved all over the place as she swings. So she's moving way to the back, and then she's going to move way to the forward. So rather than having a nice balanced axle around to swing, she's moving everything. That's a pretty common flaw among beginner golfers. So we're going to have her work on staying a little bit more centered through her swing. We have a pretty good position here. The arms are hanging pretty freely down from his shoulders. I'm going to draw the swing plane in here as best I can. It's going to go from about the club head up to about his neck. We'd like to see the backswing, the club head stay on about that line on the way back, and then under that line on the way through. So he's quite a ways under. See how far back inside he is, so the club is not staying on the plane, and then he comes over the top. Right there. See how it's coming out over the top. All in all, a pretty good athletic swing, but he doesn't allow the club to finish on the swing plane. Notice how the club is straight up in the air. That's because he was never able to get it rotated over to the swing plane. What we see from this golfer's position is that he's a little too far back on his heels. I'd like to see a little bit more knee flex, get the knees out over the shoelaces a little further, get the pelvis tilted a little more down, and the spine going forward more towards 1 o'clock, or a little bit more on this angle here. He's a little too upright. So he's almost straight up and down if you look at his back. So we'd like to have that tilted forward a little bit. Let's go ahead and watch the swing in slow motion, though. You can see that he's just got a good swing all in all. But I think if we can get him into a little more powerful setup position, he'll hit the ball cleaner and further and straighter. Here it is in slow motion. Pretty good move. Pretty good rotation. So let's work a little on that setup, get you in a more athletic position. We're going to watch this swing in slow motion. Everything's pretty good, but you're going to notice a flaw, and that flaw happens in almost every amateur golfer, is a tendency to swing at the ball and feel like your job is done once you hit the ball. And you'll see that his entire forward momentum stops. He hits really hard at the ball and then just quits. So in slow motion, driving into the ball, and see, it just kind of quit right there. No turn, no rotation. The hips didn't make it through. What we were working on here was to get the golfer to just swing the arms freely along his body line and then let his body respond to those free swinging arms, which should help bring his body around to a nice tall finish. Let's go ahead and watch this swing. It's really pretty good. Very smooth takeaway, coming into the swing, rotating the hands, coming right through. About the only thing I'd want to see differently is I'd like to see right in here, I'd like to see more knuckles of that left hand. See, it's still hidden a little bit. But that was really pretty good. If we could just get that knuckles down a little lower under the club, I think we'd be great. But you can see a really nice, smooth swing there. There's no hitting at the ball. It's just a nice, smooth swing. Good job. Okay, let's look at the swing on the left. He's going to rotate his arm, his left hand down. He's going to supinate. And on the one on the right, he doesn't. And you're going to see the difference in the two swings when I play it here in slow motion. Can you see the difference in the finish and everything? So that's what we're looking for, is to have that consistent follow through the same with each shot.